Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Thoughtful Conversations. I'm Alex, your host, and today we're diving into a question that many couples secretly ask themselves. Does marriage kill passion? We've all heard the stereotype. Before marriage, everything is exciting, romantic, and full of desire. But after marriage, routine, responsibilities, and a lack of intimacy can creep in. So, is this just a myth? Or is there some truth to the idea that passion fades after marriage? Joining me today is Dr. Emily Carter, a relationship therapist specializing in intimacy and long-term commitment. Welcome back to the show, Emily.
Hi, Alex. I love this topic because it's one of the most common concerns people bring up in therapy. Many couples struggle with keeping the spark alive, and today we're going to explore why that happens and how to fix it.
Let's start with the big question. Why does passion seem to fade after marriage?
There are several reasons, but here are the most common ones. Routine and predictability. When things become too familiar, the excitement naturally decreases. Increased responsibilities, bills, work, children, real life takes over, and romance often gets pushed aside. Psychological shifts. Before marriage, there's a chase. You're constantly trying to impress each other. After marriage, people often feel like they've secured their partner and stop making the same effort. Biological factors. Studies show that the brain releases high levels of dopamine, the excitement hormone, in new relationships, but over time it stabilizes, making love feel more like comfort than passion.
So it's not necessarily that couples stop loving each other, but the thrill just naturally decreases.
Exactly. Passion isn't automatic, it requires effort to maintain.
You mentioned dopamine earlier. Can you explain more about how our brains react to long-term relationships?
Of course. When we first fall in love, our brains are flooded with dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, chemicals that make us feel euphoric and obsessed with our partner. But over time, this chemical high fades, and the brain moves into a more stable state, focused on attachment rather than excitement.
So, does that mean we're biologically programmed to lose passion?
Not necessarily. It just means that after the honeymoon phase, passion requires conscious effort rather than relying on natural chemistry.
Let's challenge the idea that marriage kills passion. Could it be that passion doesn't actually disappear, but just transforms into something different?
That's a great point. Passion doesn't have to die, it just evolves. Early-stage passion is about excitement and newness, while long-term passion is about deep emotional connection, trust, and shared experiences.
So instead of constantly chasing the butterflies, long-term passion might be about a deeper kind of intimacy.
Exactly. Couples who recognize this shift tend to have healthier and more satisfying relationships.
All right, let's talk solutions. If a couple feels like the passion is fading, what can they do to reignite it?
There are several strategies couples can try. Prioritize date nights. Actively set aside time for romance, just like when you were dating. Try new experiences together. Novelty is a huge factor in attraction. Travel, hobbies, or even changing up routines can help. Physical touch matters. Small gestures like holding hands, hugging, and kissing regularly keep intimacy alive. Communicate desires openly. Many couples avoid talking about their needs, but honest conversations about intimacy are crucial. Maintain individuality. Having your own passions and goals makes you more attractive to your partner.
So, passion isn't lost. It's just waiting to be rediscovered.
Exactly. The biggest mistake couples make is assuming that passion should come naturally forever. In reality, it's something you have to work on.
Let's debunk some common myths about passion in marriage. What's one of the biggest ones?
One of the biggest myths is that if passion fades, it means you're with the wrong person. In reality, all long-term relationships go through ups and downs.
That's an important one. What about the idea that great sex should always be spontaneous?
That's another myth. In reality, waiting for spontaneous passion often leads to disappointment. Many happy couples actually schedule intimacy because it keeps their connection a priority.
So planning intimacy isn't unromantic. It's actually a sign of commitment?
Exactly. Passion thrives when it's nurtured.
One last question. Do all marriages need passion to be successful?
Not necessarily. Some couples build their relationship more on companionship and deep emotional connection rather than fiery passion. And that's okay. Every relationship is different.
So the key isn't about having the most passion, but about understanding what makes both partners feel fulfilled.
Exactly. Some couples prioritize romance while others focus on partnership and teamwork. As long as both partners are happy, that's what really matters.
All right, Emily, before we wrap up, what's the one key takeaway you'd give to couples worried about losing passion in marriage?
Remember that passion isn't something that magically stays. It's something you create. The more effort you put into your relationship, the more excitement and intimacy you'll get out of it.
That's such a great perspective. To our listeners, what do you think? Does marriage kill passion, or does it just change over time? Let us know in the comments or on social media.
Thanks for having me, Alex. This was such a great conversation.
Thanks for joining, Emily, and thank you to everyone for tuning in. See you next time for another thought-provoking discussion. Goodbye.
Goodbye.